Hey, Levi? Levi? Okay, then.
This better be good, Matthew.
Of course it's good. We need to make that Q&A for your 2,000 subscribers.
What the hell are you talking about, Matthew? I still have time. Wow. I really need to start waking up earlier. Yeah, just a few more minutes, Matthew. I just need to...
Oh, no.
I know what you're thinking, Matthew, and if you know what's good for you, don't. Now, it's time to run! I'm forgetting something. Oh, here it is. Me water. Now, where the hell did that idiot go?
Hey, Levi? What? Do you want me to close the door? That would be splendid, Matthew. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the last Q&A of this year. I suck. Or you could come up with some better jokes. Hey, how about we all be thankful you don't write the jokes, huh, Matthew? Huh? Apologize for that idiot over there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the show on the road! And we are live! Welcome to the THRASHMANIAC99 YouTube channel, and yes, I hope you guys enjoyed that little introduction right there. Yeah, that was a skit I recorded on, I believe it was Monday, I want to say, and, it said it was lagging. I apologize for that. The full skit will be uploaded as a separate video for those who missed it. So, thank you guys for tuning in. It is me, THRASHMANIAC99, but I'm not alone. I am joined by guests. Please welcome, I have 3 guests right now. We have Mr. Ford Minor Project, David Rivera, Boston Fan 79v1, Chris, and Heel Steven. How you gentlemen doing?
It's going great. What's up?
Thrash, I literally feel like with that intro that you just did, I really feel like at the end of it, when you played the music, we should have heard dun, dun, dun. It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to get things started on the Muppet Show tonight.
Oh, that's funny.
Nice.
Because, like, I could just picture Levi acting like Kermit the Frog and his arms, like, flailing.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
But yeah, feeling good tonight, Levi. Glad to be here. We haven't done this in a long time. Glad to have David, his brother David, here. And, of course, somebody we haven't talked to in a long time, Mr. Heel Steven.
What is up? What is up?
So, we
Not
have
much,
everybody here. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we got everybody here. It's time to get this show rolling.
Party over here.
Party of the year, indeed, Brother David.
Yep. As apologize for this last second change up. I'm actually trying to fix some Skype settings for everybody that's in the call. If you guys feel like turning on webcams, feel free. So already I see my boy Dylan Young says, Levi, let's hear you say my YouTube name. Okay. X8675309858X. Good lord. Everybody that's in the and I hear echoes.
Yep. You interrupted yourself.
Yeah, I
Oh,
interrupted
he
myself. I guess that's going to be a new running joke on this channel from now on, now that I did that skit. Oh boy. But everybody's saying congrats on the 2,000 subs. Yes. I did have 3,000, but they've gone down ever since I decided to get rid of those What Culture Extra clips, which I'm not too worried about anyways, so yeah. But we're still at over 2,000, which is cool. And it still shocks me still that it was 4 or 5 months ago when I hit 1,500, and I was just fine with that. And then, boom. We all know why I got to that point, but hey, whatever. So, we got an interesting show. Huh?
Indeed.
Yeah, you bought subs. You bought it.
Yeah, I'm the new Sean's View. Ah! But anyway, so we got an interesting show planned for you guys. So we're doing almost like two separate things in one show. We're doing topics. We're going to be talking about certain things that have been going on in in wrestling, and then we're going to be doing questions and answers. So for those of you who are joining in the chat, leave questions regarding wrestling, sports, music, films, games, whatnot. Leave them in the stream chat, and I will try and do my best to keep track of the chat, to keep an eye out for questions, and we'll answer them after we get through some topics. And meanwhile, I need to turn this box fan to the side because it's freezing me. Especially since I'm sitting next to an AC vent with a box fan right above it, so it's making it worse.
You're keeping cool right now.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta keep it cool in here, otherwise if you don't have anything on, it turns into a freaking furnace in this room.
Oh, damn.
You start smelling like food.
I don't care. I love food. So, with that being stated, well, who doesn't love food? I mean, come on.
This is true.
We're all
I love
foodies
those
here.
Alright, so to get things rolling, so we got 9 topics I had listed on my little document here on WordPad. Oh yeah, start off with a burp. So the first topic I want to talk about, this is going to be a relatively small topic, but I just wanted to get everyone's thoughts on this. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is Elias. So, apparently after Raw this past week, after Elias did Undertaker's old school move, Bubba Ray Dudley decided to take to social media on Twitter to say, it's disrespectful what Elias did, I'm going to call Undertaker, and you're going to be in big, big trouble. So supposedly Elias has quote-unquote heat for doing a move of The Undertaker's. So, I'll get started by saying I think it's. I mean, I honestly don't know what to think. I mean, yeah, Undertaker is gonna go down as one of the greatest of all time, no question about it. And yeah, maybe doing a move of his may feel a little weird, but at the same time, people had been doing his moves ever since he debuted as The Undertaker. I mean, hell, Owen Hart and Sting did the Tombstone, and there's been plenty of wrestlers to do choke slams and so on, so I honestly don't get what the issue is with this. And besides, the old school is just a basic theatrical move to begin with, so, and also it may help for Elias to do something different in his matches instead of rinse, cycle, repeat. David, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, with this, I don't really see too much of a problem with it because I see now with other wrestlers, they'll take other wrestlers' moves, so I've been noticing that as a trend lately, so I don't really see too much of a problem with it. For me personally, I really do like Elias Sampson and what he's doing. I think it's pretty cool, especially with the singing and everything, so it's like a concert kind of like every week, too.
Well, one person would maybe disagree with you on that, and we're going to go to him. Chris.
Oh boy.
Okay, so first of all, fuck Elias Sampson. I don't give a shit about the guy. I think he's a jobber. I think he is meant to be a jobber. He will never go places. He's maybe mid-card at best. He's the love child of the Honky Tonk Man meets Jeff Jarrett. Now, as far as this whole issue is concerned, about him doing the walk, okay, I didn't like it myself when I saw the YouTube clip, okay, but at the same time, I got to give credit, okay, because it makes sense. Because the thing is, it makes perfect sense. When he says walk with Elias, and he's got this signature move called walk with Elias, what do you want? It's like, what do you want him to do? I think that, personally, I think it's a perfect move for him. That's just me. But still, fuck Elias. I don't see what the big deal is with this guy.
All right, Steven.
I mean, just a fucking move. I mean, what we have here is a bitter old fuck bitching and moaning about the old days and shit.
Yeah. I was going to put in this topic, but I probably decided not to at the last minute to prevent myself from going Rage Maniac again. And it was Superstar Billy Graham. I'll just say quickly, Superstar Billy Graham, you're an absolute piece of shit. No one cares about you anymore, so keep your mouth shut. Anyways.
Why? What did he do?
Well, I guess we might as well put it into the show, even though I didn't want to. But now I guess I brought it up, I might as well put it in the show. So
It's out there.
now,
just keep it simple.
Okay, so
There you go.
So basically,
put it around the point, Levi. Make it around the point.
So basically, Superstar Billy Graham decided to go on Facebook and complain about Shane McMahon doing the big elbow spot off the top of the Hell in a Cell and pretty much calling him a reckless, foolish son basically called him a piece of shit and called WWE liars and called Shane McMahon a liar. So, like I said, Billy Graham, you're a bitter old fuck who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about anymore, so just keep your mouth shut and leave us fans alone, please. David, do you have an opinion on this?
Actually, it's just new to me, so I wasn't expecting that. That's all I really have to say. That's crazy.
Steven?
I mean, I guess if he's referring to Hell in a Cell, when Shane jumped off the top of the cell, I mean, let's put it this way, right? Me personally, I found it, weird. Like, Owen goes through a table, right? And then Shane decides to climb up again. Like, you have a beat man right there. You know what I mean? There's no need to climb back up. And that's just me. But then again, like everyone is saying, what's this fucker's name again? Superstar Billy Graham is just a bitter old fuck. Move on.
Chris?
Okay, so yeah, putting this all into perspective, I think, honestly, people can have their opinion, but at the same time, it's wrestling. It's for entertainment purposes. Leave Shane McMahon alone. Let him do what he wants to do. Fuck, man.
And besides, and what irks me even more about this is that he claims he hates Shane McMahon because supposedly Shane did something to him and shit. I'm like, what the hell could he have done? And besides, according to interviews and stories behind the scenes, Shane is the nicest of the McMahons to be around. So
that makes no sense.
He would have had to. He would have had to have killed somebody to get Billy Graham to hate him. Because I don't understand.
I mean, you got to remember, this is the same Billy Graham who tried to get the job that Dusty Rhodes had once Dusty died. After a year talking shit about WWE.
Yeah, I mean it's a weird topic that I don't want to go even further into than I already have.
Yeah,
moving on.
Yeah, move on.
Next topic.
Yeah, thank you, Simon Michael. Oh wait, he's not here. So the next topic. Now this is going to be in perspective. Right now, we are still in the middle of the WWE World Championship reign of Jinder Mahal, and people have been either for it or against it ever since he became champion. Of course, most wrestling fans know that the only reason why they put the belt on him was to gain the fan base of India, to increase the fan base and to get into that market. Which, I don't hate him for doing that. If you want to earn more fans in a certain market, then do what you can to get those fans. But at the same time, now that we're, 5 months into his reign, and look at what's happened. On television, most of the matches he has won, he has had with other people's help, up until Hell in a Cell, and, it was a bad time to have Nakamura get beat clean by someone like Mahal. That's just my opinion with that. But hey, at least he won a match clean. I guess I can't complain in that sense. But it's Nakamura we're talking about. And yeah, it gives him heel heat. But at the same time, you look at it from behind the scenes with what has happened in India with the market that WWE's trying to go after in India. Their WWE Network subscription ratings in India have actually gone down ever since Jinder Mahal has been WWE champion. So that breeds the question, can this end now? But, Steven, what have your thoughts been on Jinder Mahal's reign and so on and so forth?
I mean, listen, they're planning to have this guy, from what I've heard, from what I've read, of having this guy go on to WrestleMania with the title. Let that marinate for a minute. Here's the thing, here's the thing. I get people don't like this whole Jinder Mahal thing. Me personally, I get they're trying to go to India. They're trying to get that market going. That's fine and dandy. But does he really need to be WWE champion for that? I mean, could they not do the same thing if Jinder was the Intercontinental champion or the U.S. champion? I mean, here's the thing. They could have done a lot with Jinder. And I get it. People are going to frown. Oh, he was a jobber this whole time, and they fucking made him out of nowhere a champion. I get that, too. I understand. All right? And the whole notion of Shinsuke losing to Jinder and all that is simple. They're trying to get the rub of all these guys to make Jinder look good in the ring. Like, oh my God, he got a win. He beat Shinsuke Nakamura. Oh my God, he beat Randy Orton. He beat, don't be surprised real soon, he beat AJ Styles. Oh my God, he's getting all these wins as champion. That's Jinder for you. Like, what I would have done a while back, this is what I would have done. I would have built an Indian stable. You know what I mean? Like the whole Indian empire. I said it on the podcast, I think, like early in the day. What you would have done is I would have had Jinder as the WWE champion, obviously, right? I would have had the Singh brothers as the SmackDown Tag Team champions. I would have brought in Kavita Devi from the Mae Young Classic to be not like, I'm not saying make him a SmackDown champion, but you have it in that faction as well. And if you could, by some miracle, manage to sign Sanjay Dutt, make him the Cruiserweight champion. The whole notion is, hey, here are these guys, they're calling shots. And in a way, it makes Jinder look in a different light. instead of this like, you know, cringeworthy piece of shit on the microphone, you know. But that's just me, of course.
Yeah, I do like that idea of a Indian stable. That probably could have been good for him. David, your thoughts?
See, with this, I mean, it was a nice idea and everything, something different, but I feel like it's been definitely going on for far too long. I think that Hell in a Cell, Shinsuke Nakamura should have gotten the title, if you ask me.
Chris?
Let's see here. So, I'll be honest with you. I find Jinder Mahal extremely boring as hell. Okay, the guy has a really good look to him, much like Roman Reigns, but Jinder might be a little bit better on the mic, yes, but neither people like a Roman or a Jinder has really done anything significant. I mean, I look at past champions, and I put this on, what was it, Facebook or Twitter. When I think of a champion, I think of guys like Hogan, Warrior, Macho Man, Stone Cold, The Rock, Kurt Angle, you know, hell, even John Cena. And the thing is that every single one of these people have done things significantly. But I think Jinder Mahal would have been better suited as an Intercontinental Champion or a U.S. Champion. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, there's nothing groundbreaking about this guy. His wrestling ability is okay. Yeah. I mean, this guy ultimately reminds me of Bret the Hitman Hart, an Indian version of Bret Hart, okay? Very dry, very bland, very one-sided, okay? So, in essence, he's boring, and the thing is, I could go either way. He can either, you know, still stay as champion, but for a little while longer, as long as it's only a little while longer. Hopefully it's not WrestleMania, like what Heel Steven just said. But, you know, there's a part of me at the same time that wants to see him lose the belt, you know, because, like I said, he's very boring to me, you know. So that's my overall thoughts about him and his title run. Things have just been very boring, dry, bland. You know, that's all I can say about that. Cause it's boring. Sums it up.
I feel like, honestly, they picked the wrong foreign guy.
Yeah, and what's funny, that whole plan, supposedly, that was originally planned for Rusev. And now Rusev would have been a lot better with that role than Jinder. Because, I mean, you look at when Jinder got the shot, it was just out of nowhere because just a couple weeks before that, he was an essential jobber. And now a jobber is a world champion. It's just...
That's crazy how things turn around that way. I mean, never expected that.
I'll tell you this right now. I would rather see, at this point in juncture, I'd rather see Roman with both two main titles, the fucking Jinder's run right now. For all you out there that say, oh, Roman's a boring champion, I mean, look at Jinder Mahal right now.
Yeah.
You know?
But you know what, though? One of the Roman may not be the best on the mic, but he's got that it factor, flash in the pan, exciting moveset in the ring.
You know, moveset
a lot of people call it boring. The Superman punch, the spear. Roman, to me, is very captivating in the ring, okay?
Definitely.
And his music is even... it's the Shield's music, but it's that much better because it's like, dude, when you're at an arena or even watching on TV and you hear that, dun-dun, you know, it's like a part of you just wants to stand up and just, like, whether you want to cheer him or boo him, the thing is, I find Roman captivating. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people might, you know, sit there and want to give me shit and say, hey, you know, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're just a crazy PG bitch fanboy. Whatever. I don't care. I'm not really on YouTube. I don't care about other people's opinions. But, so, in all honesty, I find Roman to have been a lot better champion than Jinder.
Yeah.
See that?
Alright, so now moving on to our next topic, and that is the NXT War Games match they got planned for TakeOver Houston in Survivor Series weekend. So, basically, this War Games match, you're going to have 3 teams of 3 men. So they're basically trying to do their version of the 1998 War Games match, where they had 3 of 3. So you have the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong on one team. You have Sanity on one team. And you have basically Team ROH. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish on one team. Now, people have been talking about, like, how will this match go, how is it going to look, and everything. Well, supposedly, they are going to do the traditional 2-ring War Games match. We're just not sure how big the cage is going to be. Mm-hmm. But bottom line is, my thoughts on a War Games match happening in NXT, I remember my first reaction when I found out this was legit. I was like, finally, a War Games match on WWE television. Because I have been a huge advocate. Yeah, thank you for that. So, yeah, I have been an advocate for a War Games match in WWE for so long. And now it's finally happening, and I cannot wait for it. Then again, I don't watch NXT as much as I used to. Heck, I rarely even watch it. I think after 2013, ever since it went on WWE Network, to me, it just lost that spark with me just a little bit. I still watch the takeovers, no doubt, but I don't watch NXT on a week-to-week basis, even though I probably should, and probably get back to doing my old reviews of NXT, because I remembered when I did the reviews for it, about 4 years ago, people liked it, so I might get back into doing that if I can. But bottom line is, War Games match at TakeOver Houston is a great idea. Enough said. Chris, your thoughts?
Well, personally, I think for the WWE to put a match like a War Games match on NXT, dude, you're doing it right, okay? Because here's the thing. The main roster, the writers for the main roster have a really extremely bad tendency of screwing shit up. Mm-hmm. And so the bottom line is that, and even Simon Michael would agree with this. If you want to watch just a pure good wrestling show with no bullshit, no cheesy PG bitch storylines, then you're going to go to NXT. And what better way to showcase it and put your faith in young talent than to put it on NXT? Bottom line, I mean, it's, and the Houston and all these takeover shows. Let me ask you, name me one bad NXT pay-per-view that we have seen.
London.
Name me one bad one.
London.
You didn't like London?
Nah.
I didn't think it was that bad. But
okay, I'll tell you another one.
But that's just me. I respect your opinion, but a lot of the NXT shows that I have seen really have been really good, And like I said, to me, what better way to bring in a really good stipulation for an exciting match than to put it on NXT and do War Games? Hands down, I'm a fan of it, and I can't wait for next month when we get to see it.
Yeah, the only question I really have left with the War Games match, will it be like the old War Games match where the only way to win is by submission or surrender like it was in WCW? If they do that, then amazing. Or if they don't, it's still fine, but I think it would be fit in... Again, I cannot speak English properly. But if they did the traditional way of submission or surrender, that would definitely be another plus. But, Steven, your thoughts?
I mean, listen, it's great to see that they're bringing this back. It's awesome. I'm all for it. At the same time, I just hope they don't fuck this up. Because, again, we are talking about WWE. I don't want to hear no local. I don't want to hear no fuck out there say, "Oh, but NXT is different from WWE." Because there's some fucks out there that actually believe that shit. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, there's people that actually think WWE and NXT are two different things.
No,
for
they're
some
the
odd
same
reason.
company.
Exactly. So the point of the matter is, again, it's all awesome and dandy. I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. For the nostalgia, again, I just hope they don't fuck this up. That's all.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with that. But I think it would be even a worse chance of them fucking it up if they were to put it on the main roster. But I can definitely get behind what Heel Steven is saying.
All right, David.
Yeah, this is a really cool idea. I remember watching on the collections on the network, and I see like one of the matches. So this is going to be definitely something different, something new, and I'm curious to see how they're really going to do it. It's going to be awesome.
So, and for those of you who are watching in the chat that has never seen a War Games match, I will recommend you check out this one War Games match, the greatest War Games match of all time, and arguably one of the top 5 greatest matches in WCW history. Wrestle War 92, Sting Squadron, which was Sting, Dustin Rhodes, Ricky Steamboat, Nikita Koloff, and Barry Windham versus the Dangerous Alliance, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, Rick Rude, Larry Zbyszko, and Stunning Steve Austin. That match was brutal. It was well done. And to go to show you how great it was, they fucking tore the ring apart. That's how brutal it was and how crazy it was. So definitely check that match out. If you've never seen a War Games match, that's the one for you, people. Alright, so moving on to next topic. Now I'm quoting Simon, for God's sake.
Next on the news.
So, this next one, rumors are going crazy with the future of Brock Lesnar. So there are some people saying he's staying through until WrestleMania. Some people say he's going to stay through his contract till August next year or whatnot, and I am just borderline confused. Like, what is the deal with Brock Lesnar? So basically, after WrestleMania 34, where would the future hold for Brock Lesnar? Will he stay until SummerSlam next year, or is he going to leave and potentially go back to UFC, or is he going to be done with athletics altogether? My thing about it is, for me, and I have said it many times in the past, ever since Brock Lesnar came back 5.5 years ago, the night after WrestleMania 28, yeah, he's had a couple great matches here and there. Particularly the match with Punk is the best one he's had since coming back. I don't see any match topping it, personally. But it's like ever since he's come back, he still thinks that he's in UFC with the freaking gloves and the trunks and shit. And it's like... And all he does is basically suplexes and F5s and Kimuras. Like, what happened to the Brock...
So essentially, you want to see him in black underwear and wrestling boots and oiled up. That's pretty much how you want to see him.
Old school Brock.
I'm not saying he doesn't look. I'm not saying he looks bad wearing it. I'm just pointing it out. But and it's like,
I get.
Well, hold on. Let me finish, Steven. It's not your turn
yet.
Sorry.
So bad hand.
Yeah, this is my show. Damn it. So, yeah, it's like ever since he's come back, it's like something's been lost with Brock. I get it, they wanted to incorporate a little bit of that MMA legitimacy into his character with doing nothing but suplexes and, oh yeah, more suplexes, arm bars, and the F5. But that's at the same time, the fact that he's been doing all this sickens me, because I remember the Brock Lesnar from 13 to 15 years ago when he was one of the best powerhouse technical wrestlers on WWE's roster. And I was a massive Brock Lesnar fan when I was a kid because he was a badass and he was a phenomenal talent in the ring as far as ability to be a great technician as well as a great powerhouse. Nowadays, he's just a MMA guy in wrestling, and it's... To me, Brock is better off nowadays in UFC than in WWE, and you can tell in his facial expressions he does not want to be there. You know, he rather would be in UFC if he wanted to, but I mean, I guess some people say, well, if he didn't want to be in WWE, why'd he sign an extension? Money. That's why. He doesn't care about the wrestling business. He hates the wrestling business. He's only there for a paycheck. And my philosophy with that is, if you're going to be in the wrestling business, don't worry just about the money, but try and have fun with it and enjoy yourself in the business. Yeah, you're going to have times where they're going to feel bad and you may not want to be in the business, but times can be tough, and in the end, most of that stuff doesn't matter at the end of the day. Brock Lesnar, in my opinion, after WrestleMania, should go back to UFC, because that's clearly where he wants to really be at. And that's all I've got to say about that. Now you can talk, Steven.
Okay, you just answered your whole question right there for the money. You just answer that question yourself. However, I'll say this. There was plans for him to go back to UFC. It was documented he was going to fight John Jones. However, when John Jones
screwed up, yep.
Yeah, when he tested positive, that plan just went, that just sailed. It just, fuck it. However, you got to remember this whole notion that Brock is a... Okay, that was fun. Brock is a prize fighter. That's the whole shtick. However, at the same time, you got to remember, when Brock was in the UFC originally, he had a disease called diverticulitis, which was very which was life-threatening. So when he had the surgery, his whole thing just changed completely. Hence why you don't see him as the technical guy that you see him nowadays. Let's be real about it. There's more money with him doing a German suplex 24 times to a random schmuck and the crowd going crazy for it than him just having a plain generic wrestling match like, let's say, a Ty Dillinger or let's say a Dolph Ziggler. Like, that would be boring if he does the same shit like everyone else is doing, if you will.
Anything else you want to add on to that then?
That's all for now.
Well, just to respond back, I mean, yeah, I guess him being this prize fighter character does work. To me, it only works in small doses. You know, because in the end with... And this kind of goes into a bigger discussion with the whole part-timers deal. I know I uploaded at one point the Adams Pipe Bomb about part-timers, but there are still some things in that I don't agree with. Because long-term wise, when you have guys like Brock being world champion and roosting at the top of the card, how else are you going to create the next Brock Lesnar if you're only giving them B shows to flourish? You know? I mean, and it's like, and even like Blampier said, it's not impossible to do. You can create stars in between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Look at CM Punk back in 2011. But we're now in the stage in WWE where they're just not caring until they somewhat get to Survivor Series and then go back to being blah, and then we get to Road to WrestleMania time once January starts. But then again, that's the way it's been for a long, long time. But now I'm going to let David give his thoughts about Brock Lesnar's future.
Yeah, I noticed too, like his matches has been a little more shorter than usual, which is kind of weird. But I feel like once probably things clear up with the UFC, I kind of see him doing like both wrestling and UFC and still be at like the big four pay-per-views that he's been doing and stuff like that. As far as like the maneuvers and doing the suplex city, I'm pretty much used to that. It's crazy how many you can do, but yeah, I can see him doing both UFC and WWE at that again, definitely.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen. They only let him get away with it one time.
Yeah, one time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Chris, your thoughts?
Here's my position on Brock Lesnar. First and foremost, I don't really give a damn if he's a part-timer. However, there's a problem. The WWE has him as their so-called Universal Champion. And him being a part-timer, him being away, is taking away from any prestige you could build up for that title. Not that that title really has ever meant a damn thing to begin with. But at the same time, it's supposed to be your main title on your flagship show. Okay? And kind of like going along with what, you guys were saying. They have so many people that they could build up with that damn title that WWE is just not doing it. They are fucking it up big time. Now, as far as where Brock Lesnar is going to go, let him go wherever he wants to go. Heel Steven's right. He loves one thing in life, money. And he will go where the money is. And if Vince McMahon offers him a very lucrative deal and he stays on for more and is still a part-timer, so let him be that. If he goes to UFC for more money and Dana White wants to sign his paycheck, so be it. Either way, I don't really care where he goes, but he's going to go somewhere. I just wish the hell the WWE would get their shit straight with that damn Universal title and finally take it off of him, because there is no point to having Brock Lesnar have that damn title, okay? I mean, if John Cena was WWE champion or Universal champion, he would ride it out until his next endeavor, a movie, whatever. And he'd be there every single time. Now, Brock Lesnar, he's not there every single time, so how can you really compete for a title that's not even really there?
Right.
But that's my whole shtick about that when it comes down from Brock Lesnar, and he just needs to drop that title, and WWE needs to give it to somebody that can actually do something with it.
And it was surprising too. He was at Great Balls of Fire, and that's very rare that we got to see him at a pay-per-view like that.
Yeah, on a pay-per-view of all things.
Yeah, that's different.
Alright, so we got that one. Next one is fairly recent, and that is at Hell in a Cell, we witnessed the heel turn of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn helped KO Kevin Owens, helped him from getting elbowed by Shane McMahon off the top of the cell through the announce table. And I remembered my first reaction was, wait, are they really going to go through with this? And then we get to SmackDown, and Sami cut arguably the best promo he has cut since being on the main roster, where he basically told it like it was. He wasn't getting many opportunities. He was just being there just to be happy for SmackDown, and didn't get the opportunities he should have in the quote-unquote land of opportunity, SmackDown. So,
he's just happy to be there.
So now that Zayn, I guess, is a heel, at least for the time being, if I had it my way, I would keep Zayn and KO together until we get to WrestleMania, turn Zayn face by betraying KO as like a poetic justice thing, and then say like Sami Zayn were to win the Royal Rumble and KO won the WWE title. There you'd have a WWE title match, KO and Zayn. Yes, it'd be another pay-per-view match, but they never had a WrestleMania match one-on-one and for the fucking big title in the company. That's how I would book Sami Zayn going from here, but who knows if they'll actually do it. But the point being, Sami Zayn as a heel, I'm going to tune in and see how it works, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Steven, you probably know this more than I do because you watch indie wrestling more than me, but if I'm not mistaken, Sami Zayn, when he was El Generico, he was basically babyface his entire career, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So this is something different for him to do, to try and be despised, which I'll give him credit. they're trying something different with him. Hold on, Steven. I'm giving him credit. I'll give him a chance. See where it goes. If it's bad, change him back. If he's good, keep going until you get to a certain point with him where you can turn him back. Now, Steven, you can speak.
I'll be honest. I felt like the promo on Tuesday was weak. Because he didn't look mad at me. He just felt like, hey, I'm here, and you know what? Like, his voice tone was just like, he was happy to be there. You know what I mean? If you're gonna cut a heel promo, you gotta be angry. I feel like a lot of these guys, they forget that. Like, I think Ziggler is probably one of the few guys that, again, have that angry voice tone going for them when they're cutting a heel promo, if you will. But that's just my honest opinion. Again, with this whole Sami Zayn thing, again, the boys are back, if you will, Steen Jericho. But let's hope WWE doesn't fuck this one up. Because, again, it's WWE we're talking about here. It's the writers that we're talking about. And their brilliant and their brilliant creative thinking process and shit like that. It's wrestling and whatever.
Chris?
I briefly saw the promo, and I think Steven is right. It definitely did look weak because Sami Zayn is in there. He's smiling. He's hugging Kevin Owens, and it's like it didn't feel right. Okay. On one hand, I get where he could, where Sami Zayn could turn heel and be like, you know what, I have been screwed over by the WWE for the last time. It's time to, squeeze the juice, if you will, and, and have Sami Zayn just be bitter, bitter as hell. And, again, going back to like a reference, because I watched this video about Bret Hart somebody put together, and it was like a complete burial of him. And, Sami Zayn by nature is a babyface, and you've got him turning heel. Well, there's a part of me that believes that it is not going to work. I don't think for a second that it's going to work or it's going to stick around for a while. So that's just me. I think it's kind of like not necessarily a dumb idea. I think it's a great idea to turn him heel, but at the same time, his reaction was weak.
David?
Well, at least with this, they'll probably maybe add more to it. That's what I can see out of it. I mean, I wasn't expecting the heel turn. It was definitely out of nowhere. So that's definitely something different. Curious to see how they're going to really, truly get along and stuff like that, and how long the team and the pairing is going to actually work out. Maybe they'll, at some point, get the tag team titles, but we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, hopefully they don't mess with this one and don't screw it up either.
Like I said, we just gotta, for those who are going to keep up with it, we'll see where it goes. Alright, so next up, now this has been pretty fairly big over the past number of weeks, and that is Bullet Club, particularly the Young Bucks. So a couple weeks ago, on before Raw went on the air, the Bullet Club pulled a DX, and that was the invasion of WWE with megaphones and all this and that, which I thought was pretty hilarious. I saw some of those clips and I thought it was awesome. And then you get WWE firing back at the Young Bucks, in particular the Bullet Club, and told them, basically had a cease and desist letter sent to them about doing this, the too sweet gesture. And now you had Roman Reigns in an interview talking about them, saying we don't need people doing the whole too sweet bit and suck it and all this. He says we need original characters. And now you get Young Bucks firing back at Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes jumping on as well. Basically, this is turning into WWE versus Bullet Club right now. Like, it's a war now. WWE versus Bullet Club over bunch of childish shit, and it's just it's like some of it's hilarious, some of it just makes me want to do this. Like the big one, the the big one that really made me facepalm was WWE's whole cease and desist letter over the Too Sweet gesture. You know what that reminds me of? For those who may get this, will get this reference. Earlier this year, Gene Simmons of Kiss, one of the men I hate the most in the world that I wish would just keep his mouth shut, but he can't. Gene Simmons earlier this year tried to trademark this, the metal horns, the devil's horns that you use at rock shows. He tried to trademark that, and guess what? It backfired on him. No one was going to buy into that. And so Gene Simmons was like, okay, and he backed off. I could potentially see the same thing happening here with WWE trying to do this whole cease and desist of the Too Sweet thing. Like, at the end of the day, it's just a freaking hand gesture, for God's sakes. When does that have to do with copyright, trademarks, and all this stuff? It's just two dudes going, yay! Like, why? I don't understand. And then throwing on top of that, the Roman versus Bullet Club shtick with the whole interview Roman did, and then the Twitter responses, and of course Bullet Club invading Raw. Bottom line is, some of it's funny, but some of it's just flat out stupid. David, your thoughts?
I remember when I saw this too, and I saw the videos on Twitter. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, I agree with the whole hand gesture thing, and just them WWE being able to be stupid with that. They're still going to do it anyway, I think, with the fans and everything. It's a cool thing to do, so I don't really see a big deal out of it. So I actually kind of like too when Cody Rhodes tried to get his last name back when he tried to do that.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing I almost forgot about is the response to Roman's comments. The problem with trying to do original characters is that basically we've seen everything in wrestling. What type of original character can you do today? Unless you find something obscure that no one has ever thought of. But other than that, what all original characters can we have that we haven't seen in wrestling already? That's my shtick with that. But anyways, Chris, your thoughts?
Okay, first and foremost, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a Young Bucks fan. I don't really give a shit who they are. I've seen them in the ring. Yeah, they're okay, all right? But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I've watched every single one of their matches, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Same here.
Okay? You know, I'm kind of wet behind the ears about what the, you know, about what the point is about this whole Bullet Club thing, or even where the hell the origin of the Bullet Club even ever came from. I think the best way, I think, to describe this whole situation is one word: stupid. Okay, it was stupid on the part of Matt and Nick Jackson to, you know, start doing what the hell that is that they were doing, the Too Sweet signs, the suck it trying to be DX. And at the same time, I thought it was completely stupid for the WWE to do a cease and desist. I mean, really, come on, okay? And then on top of all that, firing poor little, you know, Jimmy Jacobs.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
From your team.
I actually almost forgot about that. Yeah, but I don't mean to cut you off, Chris. I almost forgot to bring that up when I was doing the synopsis of it. And the fact WWE fired Jimmy Jacobs over a picture of the Bullet Club, that takes the cake right there. But keep going. Yeah,
it's the bottom line. It's stupid. Okay. Again, like I said, I'm not a Bullet Club fan. Like I said, I don't even know the damn origin of the Bullet Club or even how it got started. Okay. I've seen, like I said, I've seen the, you know, Matt and Nick Jackson in the ring before. Yeah, they're a pretty dynamic little duo in the ring. That's fine. But it's completely stupid. I'm sorry. It is completely stupid. I think it was done for attention, and that's it.
Steven?
Okay. Oh, boy. So, regarding the Young Bucks, I understand. Listen, it's not everyone's cup of tea. There's some that like them. There's some that love them. There's some they're like, perfectly fine. In between, what have you. Again, it's perfectly fine, okay? I'll say this. I give them credit where credit's due for getting, you know, for getting the momentum that they're getting without the backing of the WWE machine. Like, for example, they got, Young Buck merchant. They got Bullet Club merchandise selling at Hot Topic. That's huge. And granted, I understand. Yeah, keep this in mind. I'm fully aware a lot of people haven't shopped in Hot Topic in like 10 years. Okay, I get that, but the fact that we got that done, and again, they're not even sending the WWE. That's huge. Okay, as far as the whole, hand gestures concerned, the whole cease and desist, it's dumb. It's stupid as fuck. Can you think about it, right? Whoever invented the peace sign should be the one to, also, I guess, start a cease and desist as well, right? If you think about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different hand gestures.
Or
exactly.
even the middle finger.
Yeah,
or the Black reference I brought up earlier with
or in essence, the Black Panther should, start a cease and desist. Everyone to put the fist up. You know what I mean? Like, come on, think about it. Or the Fonz, okay, or Fonzie should, do a cease and desist. Everyone throw two thumbs up. But the point of the matter is this, okay? The whole notion of them invading Raw, I thought it was funny for what it was. I thought it was whole funny. It was part of their whole being the elite YouTube channel that they have. But the whole thing as well, like, hey, they found a way to, I guess to counter the whole thing. They had a shirt on their store that's literally them. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. It's literally them throwing up Too Sweet, but it's like censored and shit, right? And the top of it says cease and desist. The most hilarious shit. But again, end of the day, as far as the whole Jimmy Jacob thing is also concerned, it's dumb. It's stupid. Fucking picture. At the same time, I probably understand WWE's position here. Like, hey, we are WWE. That's the enemy. That's the outside and shit. You're bringing these people into our realm of shit like that. And again, Jimmy Jacobs is a writer or was a writer for WWE. So we'll see where that goes as well. Take it away.
Alrighty.
Hello.
You're up, Levi.
Oh, I forgot I had my mic muted. Sorry. Alright, so that does it with that. Moving on. Next up, it may be a bit too soon to talk about this particular topic, but hey, why not? So we got Royal Rumble coming up here in a couple of months, and some people may have already begun to speculate who could win. And to be fair, there is, at this moment, a few guys who could win to do something at WrestleMania with either of the world titles. So if anybody in here has any early possible winners for the Rumble, feel free to speak out. I will say my picks: Sami Zayn, if they were to do that storyline I had said that I would book, but who knows if that'd ever happen. But Sami Zayn's still a pick for me. Matt Hardy would be interesting to get the quote unquote Woken thing going or whatnot, since Jeff Hardy's going to miss WrestleMania, unfortunately, which sucks. But my number one pick is Finn Balor. Finn Balor is my number one pick for the simple reason that he's never gotten his Universal title rematch on television, and it helps with his story, looking for redemption to get back the belt he never lost. And who wouldn't want to see Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar? I think that'd be fun. And there you go. David?
This one I kind of got to. I mean, then again, it could change. Kind of want to see Seth Rollins just so he can get his chance again to be Universal Champion. I think that would be pretty cool. And to add another one, probably AJ Styles to win his first one. I think that'd be pretty interesting.
Chris?
If I had to pick early, I'm probably going to go with people like Braun Strowman, Shinsuke Nakamura, I was going to say maybe one of the Shield members, but that's really all at this time that I can think of.
Steven?
I'm going to say AJ Styles.
Cool.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So, that pretty much takes care of that. We got a couple more left before we get to questions. First, and this is the one of the two biggest topics I've got listed. Speaking of the Shield, it is official. They are back together as of this past Monday on Raw. They've already got a new t-shirt, which I do plan on getting whenever it's released, because it does look like a cool t-shirt. And besides, if this is going to be the last of the Shield being together, why not cash in on the merch? At the same time, storyline-wise, there are some pros and cons to having the Shield back together. Pros, you finally get the reunion that we've been hoping to see at some point with the three. And, of course, you're going to put them in a big match that's going to be a car crash in a good way at TLC with all three of them against Miz, Cesaro, Sheamus, and Strowman. I cannot wait for that match. Cons, I'll say the primary con that I have with the Shield coming back together is that when it came to Roman, it did feel a little bit rushed. Ambrose and Rollins, it was organic. Roman, they probably maybe could have waited another month to build up Roman to come back together, but... And I understand, they're doing this to boost ticket sales for TLC. I can get why they're doing that, and this is all also to help try to get Roman Reigns cheered. But, this is the big one, I like it for what it is, because I'm a huge fan of the Shield. Even when Roman Reigns was in the Shield, I really liked him, and so on and so forth. And, yeah. I like it that they're back together. Maybe a little bit too soon. Maybe they should have waited till Survivor Series. But hey, in my opinion, with the Shield coming back together, it's better than never having them come back together. I'll just say that. Chris?
Personally, I like the fact that the Shield is back together, man. Because let's be honest, each of them has faced their own individual success. Okay? And I think what better way to, it very well could be a ratings booster. And I think it's a really good idea, and I think it's an exciting idea. I think it's one of those things that people have missed over the past couple, years. And I think it was, now the time to do it. So, I like what they're doing with it, and bringing back the Shield. I just hope that they use their costumes like they used when they first joined, like with the face masks and the, compliment Roman with the SWAT gear, and
Steven?
I mean, listen, it's all cool. It's awesome. I'm happy. You're all happy. That's awesome. But let's keep it 100, okay? There's a reason why they're all back together right now. Their plan for WrestleMania, whether people like it or not, is for Roman Reigns to go up against Brock for the Universal title, right? No, and let's be real right now, a lot of people right now are not getting behind the big dog. So at this point in juncture, they're trying to do anything to get people behind the big dog, Roman Reigns. Even if it means, hey, let's bring back the Shield. Because that's what people want to see. And people are cheering. It's working. It's awesome. You know what I mean? But personally, I don't think it's a long-term thing. I just think, hey, it's for TLC. It may be Survivor Series, and that's it. But again, the long-term plan here is to get people behind Roman, so they can get ready. So he has momentum going into WrestleMania 34 against Brock Lesnar. Because that is their plan, after all, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so, yeah, that does it with that. And now we get to the final topic before we go into the actual Q&A itself. Perhaps the biggest topic that's been going on for the past 5-6 days. I think most people know what I'm about to talk about, and that's Neville. So there are so many conflicting reports and rumors out there about Neville. Some people say that he's quitting. Some people said he just walked out of a Raw. Some people say that he was supposed to supposed to be in the Lumberjack match that Kalisto was in, and all this and that. Some people said he was released. Some people say that he's requesting a release. And in my mind, I'm just thinking, what the hell is going on? My brain is hurting. I don't know what is going on with this. I can't take it. But say if all this is true, if Neville is actually going to quit WWE because of them putting the belt on Enzo, I will say it would be a shame if Neville left. Because I feel like there was so much more to him, so much more potential left in him that he could have done after being in the Cruiserweights. Maybe he could have gone back after a mid-card title if he wanted to as a heel. It could have worked, maybe not, but we'll never know if he's actually going to leave. But if he does leave, yeah, it's a big loss. And if it is over the whole Enzo thing, I'm just scratching my head because and I know Steven, and we'll get to you about that. I know Steven's one of the biggest critics out there of Enzo being Cruiserweight Champion. I may not be all for...
That bump?
Anywho, this is my show. Hold up. I'll let you have your time when I get to you, like usual. But with Enzo being the Cruiserweight Champion, I know this is going a bit off topic, but I just want to preface it. Mm-hmm. You see, Enzo being Cruiserweight Champion, I get it. He may not be quote-unquote ready for that, and yeah, he does have a lot to work on in the ring. But bottom line is, I've said it before, even on your show, Steven, I'll say it again, that division has been in desperate need for a story and for depth as far as characters. Because now that Enzo's champion, a lot of eyes are on the Cruiserweight division now, so it's working, and I give him credit. I get it. I know. Enzo, hold up. How many times I got to warn you? Anywho, now this is just getting funny. But, I mean, I get it. Enzo's not very good in the ring. I don't think he's awful. I do think he's got a lot to work on. And yeah, he may be a tool, but he's very talented on the mic. And like I said, that division has been in desperation for depth with characters as well as a story. So I give him credit for doing that. And people are checking out what's going on 205 Live now more often just to see what the hell is happening with it. So I give him credit. But Neville, and Leduc also said in the comments, he's also angry that his match was left off the Mania 33 DVD. That does suck because that match was really good with him and Aries. But, like I said, my mind is just messed up because I don't know what to believe with Neville, so yeah. Now you can talk, Steven.
Listen, you forgot to... Listen. I said it before, I'll say it again. Enzo's a bum. Always was a bum. Always will be a bum. Screw Enzo Amore. It's a shame that Neville didn't stiff him in the ring. All right? Just saying. But that's around the point, okay? I get it, yes. That's what they needed. That's what, again, Enzo Amore, what they needed to get some, life back in that division. All the hell you want. However, that being said, let's be real about it right now. Kalisto right now being the champion is just, again, just for short term. Enzo's getting the belt back at TLC.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I did it, because, hey, happy birthday, Eddie Guerrero. You're 50 years old. Viva La Raza. A lot of cheat and steal, okay? But the whole thing with Neville, from what I've heard, apparently it didn't even happen. Apparently he didn't even walk out. He didn't walk off. Apparently he wasn't even at Raw. Now, keep this in mind, like you said, there's plans of him wanting to leave WWE. There's this whole notion of him being disgruntled, including, his match with Aries not being put in the WrestleMania DVD, even though it's on the pre-show, his royalties, what have you. Listen, in a perfect scenario, Neville would be right now wrestling for the Intercontinental title or the World title, what have you, right? But listen, if he leaves, he leaves. Listen, I think people like Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre prove the point that, hey, there's life outside WWE. There is. 100%. And I think he would definitely tear it up on the indie circuit right now. Whether it's him going to New Japan, him going just wrestle on the indie circuit period, he's going to tear it up. But right now, what people are saying, it just right now, just talk. Nothing is really confirmed yet. So we'll see what happens. But again, as far as Enzo losing the belt this past Monday, even though it was Kalisto, like, put a smile on my face.
I bet it did. Chris?
Hell yeah.
Okay. As far as Enzo goes, I think, in all honesty, I have to believe with what Jim Cornette says about Enzo. The guy is a walking gimmick. The guy knows very little about past professional wrestling. Why he's in the WWE is beyond me. Yeah, he's okay on the mic, but at the same time, he's not that good a wrestler. He's this little runt, okay? And I just, I'm not a huge fan of the guy. I think he was better fit when he was with Big Cass, but
yeah.
But of course, Big Cass, at some point had to break away from him and start his own singles career, and that's fine. But now Enzo is just he's like that little brother that always gets you in trouble. Is the best way I can describe it. He's a little shit. He's a little shit, Now, as far as Neville goes, I don't know what the heck is confirmed, in all honesty. If he walked out or whatever the case might be. If it's a matter of, having lost to Enzo, here's the thing. How much was WWE actually paying him to do that? There are a lot of wrestlers, both past and present, that only care about winning. They don't care about the money. They care about winning. They don't want to put the next guy over, But again, we don't know the facts, okay? We need to know the facts of what went on if you're going to make an educated opinion about Enzo leaving. Is it too bad that if he is gone? Yes, it is, because he's an extremely good wrestler in the ring. He's a high flyer. A lot of with what Hill Steven was saying. Yeah, there is life outside WWE, but at the same time, Neville has also done it too, because he did his wrestling back in London as a guy named Pac. Okay, look it up, and so yeah, he could go back to Indies if he wanted to, but guess we'll have to see what happens, because I don't know what's confirmed or what's real. But all I know is that if Neville is gone, it's too bad.
Yeah. And real quick before I get to you, David, just a few funny comments. Raphael Leduc first, as a response back to you, Steven, he says, heel Steven versus heel Enzo at WrestleMania. Inside, heel in a seal.
Listen, if Enzo ever came to my town in Jersey, he would get jumped on the spot.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And then Draven G first was saying, so according to Meltzer, the biggest idiot in the history of pro wrestling, in my opinion, saying, main event Survivor Series will be Brock Lesnar, Jinder Mahal. I'll believe it when it happens, if it happens. I ain't gonna believe it because Dave Meltzer says it. I'm sorry to go off topic again. Dave Meltzer, you are the biggest piece of shit in pro wrestling. 90% of what you say doesn't actually happen, so can you do us all a favor and fuck off? I rest my case.
I thought Kevin Dunn was the biggest piece of shit in wrestling.
Yes,
no, he's the biggest piece of shit in WWE. Dave Meltzer's the biggest piece of shit in all of wrestling.
Gotcha.
I mean, to be fair here, if I can interject here for a second here, if the plan is to do Brock and Jinder at Survivor Series, yes, it'd be a dumb match. It'd be a stupid match, all the fuck you want, yes. However, if you remember last year's Survivor Series, it was Raw versus SmackDown Live.
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say, right? If they go that route again, like last year,
which
not
they
too
probably
surprising.
will.
So, in essence, who's to say that, hey, it could definitely happen?
Right.
You have, and you in the whole notion that, hey, this will happen after the India tour.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do we know from that? If that's true, Jinder's going to hold on to the belt until November. So, about heading into Survivor Series. So, you might hold on to WrestleMania, the Indian JBL, as we speak.
And then Draven G also said, this was a response back to the Neville Enzo thing. This is one occasion where beach balls should be allowed. Beach balls should never be allowed in wrestling to begin with. Fuck beach balls. Alright, now, David, your thoughts on the Neville and Enzo stuff, if you want.
Yeah, and I'll actually go back to the Shield, so I didn't get to cover that, but in terms of the Shield and everything, I think it's something that we need, but also with that, I don't think they should have it just for TLC, because that would be kind of pointless. At least have it for a couple of months. I think that would be pretty cool, and we don't really have excitement anymore, and that's one of the things WWE is lacking right now. So at least with having with this, you know, they can have the match at TLC, and they can do other matches too on top of that. But in terms of with the whole thing with Neville, this was definitely unexpected. And since he was doing really well as a heel and everything, so, you know, I didn't really get this. I mean, hopefully he doesn't leave, I hope. So we'll see what happens with that. I know he'll definitely do well in indies and stuff. So we'll see. Hopefully Neville sticks around. Maybe they'll put him and to do something else on the roster. So we'll see. Hopefully he stays.
Yeah. Pretty much same here. And then LeDuc says, Meltzer versus Russo. Fuck both of them. Both of them can kiss my ass. So yeah, you know what's funny? Before we get to questions, I want to mention my top 5 shit list in the wrestling industry. Vince Russo, Kevin Dunn, Dave Meltzer.
All just made the list.
Yeah, he just made the list. Oh, now I just lost my train of thought. Actually, that's only 3 out of 5, and you know what? That's all I've got for now, off the top of my head. I know I got 2 more up there. Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan, he's number 4, and then number 5. And then who is Hulk Hogan, by the way? Was he that guy who was in Rocky 3? Okay, I know too much. And then number 5, Mark Carrano. Because he's an idiot too. Alright, so, alright, now it is time for questions. So I will go back up to the top of the comments to find questions, and we'll work our way down to the current questions. So the first question is from the KC Killer. Do you think the Shield will last for long, and will there be a 4th member? No and no. Anyone else want to pitch in?
It's short term.
It's going to be short term, definitely.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know who else they would have for another member if they wanted to. I think they're fine as they are.
Yeah, and definitely no, there's going to be no 4th member.
No. It would kind of shit on what the Shield was to begin with, anyways.
Yeah.
Next question. I can tell this one looks like it's just for me, just to answer real quick from Man C to Pop says, will you do team standings for the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series Season 3? Probably not, because with that Score 4 program I use to determine the points, when you do team standings, it's kind of tough to try and do. Say, like, you have a team with 5 people and then a team with 1 person. It just wouldn't be fair. Draven G had a question earlier saying, could you imagine taking a break from WWE after WrestleMania and then coming back a year later to see Jinder Mahal still WWE champion?
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Longest reign ever.
Longest heel reign ever.
Hubba hubba.
Man.
Don't end their Jinder.
I just want to... if that happened, I would cry.
Well, in all honesty, I got to be honest, they would be going back to old school days where, you know, people are champions for, you know, years on end.
I'll be honest. I love seeing Apu as our WWE champion. What's wrong with you guys?
Wow. And they keep saying he's strictly Indian. No, he's Canadian who happens to have an Indian background. Get that right, WWE. He's from Calgary.
He's from Canada.
Canada. Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
They're not even a real country anyway.
That's a throwback reference right there.
Oh, wow.
To all you kids out there. South Park's bigger, longer, uncut. I'm dead. Alright, so next question, again from Casey Killer. What's your thoughts on Baron Corbin becoming United States champion? And, well, that's just the first. And then he had the same question from earlier. We'll answer his first one. Baron Corbin being U.S. champ. I said it in my Hell in a Cell review, and I'll say it again. I don't think Baron Corbin deserves shit because, to be fair, in my personal opinion, he's not very good in the ring. He's good on the mic for some reason, but other than doing the Deep Six and End of Days, what's special about Baron Corbin? And not to mention, the guy fucked his own career up big time by mouthing off on Twitter and all this and that. I mean, granted, it's petty, but hey, if you're working under WWE rules, then that's a no-no. And because of that, he lost his cash-in, which, yeah.
Oops.
And basically, Corbin, he's just dead air to me. That's my feeling with Corbin being
So it makes you want to take a nap.
Pretty much. He's boring, Corbin. David?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty much on the fence at this point. We'll see where it goes, though, to be honest.
Steven?
I mean, listen, end of the day, I mean, personally, me, I think I like Baron Corbin. He has a look. End of the day, listen, don't be surprised if they start pushing him again. It's quite obvious why they're going to do it anyway. He's one of their homegrown guys.
He's a big, sweaty man.
No. He's one of their homegrown, like, developmental talent guys, if you will.
True.
So I'm only going to give this U.S. title run a chance. I'm going to see where this goes, but I thought it was stupid the way he lost the briefcase, but that's me, of course.
Chris?
I absolutely freaking love it. Honestly, I've been a Baron Corbin fan since day one of his NXT days. I like his, lone wolf persona. I like the fact that he's kind of, sort of like Stone Cold in the sense where he just doesn't give a shit. And the fact that he finally now has a push, I think it's absolutely spectacular. Yeah, he lost that Money in the Bank, which it made absolutely no sense to me. But I'm glad he got his redemption with the United States Championship. And then, of course, let's quickly honorably mention his new awesome theme music. I cannot get enough.
Oh, you too, huh?
I cannot get enough of his new theme. I downloaded it. I love it.
Sweet.
I listen to it every single day.
Yeah, I'm glad they added lyrics to that. That's cool.
Yeah, and so, and then there was this whole thing on the SmackDown Talk Live or whatever it was after Hell in a Cell, and what he said. Holy shit. It's like, yeah, people that want a title shot, I'm just not going to hand out title shots. Get your ass to the back of the damn line, because it's the truth, And then what he said about the fans, people want his autograph. People want him to slap hands with him. They might have his, his action figure and whatnot. But at the end of the day, they're the ones that are talking shit, behind a keyboard.
Keyboard warriors.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So he's right on all levels. Baron Corbin, I freaking love the guy. What can I say? I think he's awesome.
I mean, I was a Corbin fan at one point when he was in NXT. I was behind him. But then, after watching him on that show on the network, Proving Ground, seeing how he is with fans, I mean, granted, sometimes the fans can be a bit pushy, But more often than not, the fans aren't being pushy to him, and he acts like a complete dick. And me being the way I am, I don't tolerate that kind of crap. If wrestlers are going to be dicks to their fans for no reason, then they have one less fan. That's the way I see it. Because I'm a firm believer that wrestlers should be good to their fans, unless the fans are being dickbags to them in person. That I can understand, but if you're gonna be a dick to your fans for no reason whatsoever, then that's what I have for you.
Levi, let me interject you for 1 second. But here's the thing. Ever since they started these fan festivals, Bobby Heenan said it best. The magic is gone. We showed them how to do the tricks. When is a heel ever a heel? Beside in the ring. You want them to play that character outside the ring. Now, granted, you look at somebody like Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, big, mean, tough guy in the ring, but he's probably this big teddy bear that'll give you his shirt off his back because, of course, he was bred down here in North Carolina. Thank you very much. He would give you the shirt off his back. But here's the thing. Baron Corbin, the dude's being a legit heel, no matter what. And I think that is something that has been missing for a very long time. And I think a lot of the time it's justified because then you'll see these, basement dwellers that like to go to the airports and stock out the wrestlers. Even Sasha Banks can even vouch for that one. And so I think a lot of the time, if you want a wrestler's autograph, pay a ticket and get the money. Pay for your ticket.
Dineros.
Get your ass in line, bring your merchandise, and get his autograph, shake hands with them, and that's it. I think it's a complete dick move to stock a wrestler at a hotel or at an airport. Bottom line.
Yeah, I could never do that.
Or even if you want to wait at the loading dock of an arena.
Yeah, like what we do. That's not bad.
I think that's fine too. But at an airport when they've got jet lag or they're at their hotel, come on. You know what? Look, potty pants. Give them a freaking break, all right?
Don't be a creeper.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. So this happened during SummerSlam weekend this past year, right? I don't know if you guys caught the vlogs or not, but where me and Walter stayed in our apartment, where we stayed at, it was literally across from Barclays Center. And for us, literally our door, like to come in and come out of the apartment, was literally where all the wrestlers come in and come out from. So you can imagine all these beloved basement dweller, neck beard loving, low life sacks of shits out there just chilling outside the gate. Again, keep this in mind. A lot of them are tourists. It's New York. There's a lot of things you can be doing before the event. Yeah. The last thing I'm gonna do is literally stay outside the arena area trying to get a selfie with these people. Fuck that. That's just me, of course, but yeah.
Fun fact, I actually almost got a chance to go to Comic-Con 5 years ago to meet CM Punk. Sadly, I had a family reunion that day, so I couldn't go.
Oh.
Which, if you're gonna meet wrestlers, I'd say the best way to do that is, Access or WrestleCon or Comic-Con, which, I haven't met a wrestler yet, but I want to someday. It's just a matter of where can you find them at a convention or whatnot. And to carry on a point from Rafael LeDuc, yeah, the problem is kayfabe is dead, and you can blame that on Vince McMahon. Anyways,
and also blame it on the internet too.
Yeah, that too. Even though primarily I blame it all on Vince McMahon because he started the bashing of kayfabe with this sports entertainment label in '89. And then the second question that the KC Killer had was, do you see the U.S. titles and IC titles getting a new look? Personally, no, because I don't want every belt in the company to look the same as the fucking women's titles and the world titles, because those look uglier already.
Yeah, I hate that.
Because it's just the WWE logo and no creative design to it. Like, Cruiserweight title in May look weird with the platinum and the purple strap, but hey, at least it's unique. The UK title looks really cool. Tag titles, both the tag titles look like frickin' Raw titles are frickin' Spartan pennies, and on SmackDown they're Spartan nickels. Like, where's the creativity in that? And then the women's titles is the same as world titles, just different colors in the background of the logo. The US titles and US titles should stay the way they are, or if I had it my way, I would change the IC title strap back to black. The white strap, to me, only looks good on certain people. The best wrestler it looked good on was Cody Rhodes. To me, belts for the most part should be black strap, because that's been the tradition, and it's the one that looks the best on everybody. That's my
but you know what? Yeah, but you know what though, Levi? Here's the thing. Go back and look at the NWA television title. That's got like a maroon strap to the back of it, and that thing looked legit freaking awesome. Held by Tully Blanchard.
I've never seen that belt, so I can't comment.
It's awesome. Even the U.S. title, the NWA United States Championship.
Is that a small title, right?
Yeah, the belts look sick. So go back and look at those titles. They were simplistic, and they looked amazing.
Steven?
Oh, Levi, then you're going to hate the IWGP Intercontinental title then. It's a white strap.
I don't hate the white strap. I was saying it only looks good on certain people. It's like it's kind of the same situation with... it's the same situation with back when we had the spinner belt. I didn't hate the spinner belt. I could agree it just looked stupid on certain wrestlers. But, I mean... It wasn't bad, it's just with certain people you can get away with. Some people you can't. That's my thing. Then you probably
hate the Raw tag team titles for the SmackDown tag titles. It's a blue. It's a red strap. It's a red strap and a blue strap leave on control.
Oh man. The old ones were cool.
It's not. I don't really care. I don't care too much for the straps. I just care about the actual plate designs. That's my peeve.
Yeah, the plate design, I hope the Intercontinental stays the same. I believe that the United States Championship could use a makeover.
Perhaps.
And in all honesty, I really wish they'd do a modified version of the old WCW United States title.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It was like a big winged eagle with the United States in red, white, and blue in the middle.
I'll be honest, I wish they start, because again, WWE has all the rights, to all the intellectual property rights to WCW, right?
Yep.
I would love to see them sell the replica old school US title belt.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself in the freaking ass for selling that a long time ago. Because I used to have the old WCW television title and the US title. But I had sold them a long time ago.
High Spots is currently selling the old school NWA US title, the black strap with the... I know they're selling it. Let me see. I wonder if they still are selling it. Let me just check right now real quick. I wonder if High Spots are still selling the... Carry on. I'll show you. I'll show you the link. And
you can get your title back.
David, your thoughts?
In terms of the Intercontinental title, I like the old one, like you were talking about, Levi, like with the black one, and I think that one was pretty cool. The US title, I like it actually as is. I think it's a cool design. I'm actually used to it since when I first started watching wrestling. I saw that title too, so when it came back and everything, so that title I don't have a problem with. The other titles, like the women's titles, the tag team titles, they could definitely change, especially the Universal title, just to make things different because the other titles feel the same. So hopefully we will get to see that. I know a long time ago I saw that picture of what was supposed to look like the new Intercontinental and US titles. Glad they didn't do that too.
Yeah.
Chris, I posted the link in the chat. Chris, by the way.
Huh?
I posted the link to the U.S. title belt that they're selling on High Spots. It's in the Skype chat, by the way. If you want to take a look at it.
Yeah, I just looked up the NWA United States, not United States, the television title. And I don't know how to put it in because I'm on my phone. I don't know how to put it in the chat.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you on Facebook. I'll send it to you on Facebook.
Now, how about this for an idea for a championship? NXT. I know this may be stretching it a little bit, but since with singles competition you only have just one belt, and there's so many guys in NXT, why not have an NXT television title to build up contenders for the NXT title by having a mid-card NXT championship? And also you can do NXT Triple Crowns. That would be pretty fun.
Yeah, that wouldn't be so bad.
Plus, it would add much more depth to the quote-unquote mid-card of NXT. Build up guys by letting them have a mid-card title, and then once they're done with that, they can go after the big belt.
I think that's a really good idea because here's the thing. There's not a whole lot of people on the NXT roster that I would consider main eventers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could give like a television title to, you know, a guy like the Velveteen Dream or what's that big bald guy that completely wrecks everybody?
Lars Sullivan.
Yes. You could give that to him. You know, so many people. And you know, and it would be a good test to see who's a good mid-card as to a main eventer too.
Yeah. Another question from the KC Killer, and he says this one's mainly for you, Chris. More thoughts on feelings of Roman Reigns. Do you hate him or do you like him?
Oh, I like Roman Reigns. I don't mind Roman Reigns at all. I just wish the only thing I wish is that he would, you know, brush up his mic skills, but because he's not, you know, after all his time in WWE so far, I still don't think he's all that great on the mic, but I just think he has a really good presence to him, you know, and you know, I'm not like, you know, ooh gaga for him, but you know, like hey, yeah, you know, but like Roman, like even David saw it at the house show. I was doing like his hand gesture, you know, his you know, the pinky and the thumb, you know.
Yeah, we almost shook his hand, I believe, at one point.
You know, I mean, what's it called? Like a hang loose or some kind of, you know, that sort of thing. Like what Superfly Snuka used to use. So I was, you know, I would, you know, throw that up for him, and I would easily wear a Roman shirt or, you know, I definitely don't hate him. I would consider myself a pretty, you know, good fan of his. You know, just he needs to brush up on his mic skills. But I'm a fan of his.
I agree. I mean, I'm not a really huge fan of Roman. I don't hate Roman with a passion. I pick at him a lot, mainly because of his mic skills. Yeah, that is the big pet peeve a lot of people really have with Roman. Rafael Duke, where's your Seen Enough edition? Oh right, Levi didn't screw 2K. 2K screw 2K. Yeah, real quick, let me actually say that.
What happened?
So I originally pre-ordered the WWE 2K18 Seen Enough edition back in July, late July. I pre-ordered it, and I was supposed to have gotten it in the mail today. It didn't come. And I go back and look in, like, my accounts and shit, and it turns out they never charged me for it, and they've never sent any notifications telling me that it was shipped or anything. So basically, 2K Store can go fuck themselves. If you're ever going to buy a game from 2K, don't go to the 2K Store. Go to Walmart or Best Buy or GameStop.
I go to GameStop.
Don't bother going to 2K Store ever again. Ever again. And now it got to the point where I had to rebuy the Seen Enough edition off Walmart, and now this Wednesday I have to wait until Wednesday to get it, and I gotta go to the store to pick it up. I mean, it is a bit of an inconvenience, but hey, I want the Seen Enough stuff, because I want that plaque, I want the supercard content, I want it all.
Yeah, there was a figure that came with that
and
one,
a figure, and an action figure too.
Yeah,
in fact, I still have a couple of figures in those 2 Wrestle Crate boxes that just sit up on the top of my shelf. I'm thinking about hanging them up on my wall somewhere. I gotta figure that out at some point. But continuing with questions, let's see. Now it's a long gap going into questions. Oh, from Dr. Sam W. Pepper. Will I do a WTF moments for Danica Patrick?
Oh my god.
I get this.
I have no idea what that is.
I can kind of see that.
Well, Chris, let me tell you. It was because it goes back to the topic we were talking about before we went on the air with What Culture. I love King Ross.
Oh, okay.
Because he's so funny to me, pulls off funny gags, and they don't get old to me. Basically, I tried to emulate his gimmick by buying my own crown and robe, call myself King Fat with a PH, and I did my own WTF moments about Kyle Busch, because, as most people know, I hate Kyle Busch with all my life. And so I just did a full, WTF, meaning all the stupid and dumb shit Kyle Busch did in his NASCAR career, compile them into a video and just rant and rage for about 15 minutes. So I can tell this guy wants me to do the same thing with Danica. Well, never say never. King Fat could be returning at some point. It's just a matter of character. It's just
book it.
It's just a matter of what he wants to talk about. And perhaps maybe Danica Patrick could be that person. So you might have just helped the return of King Fat, everyone. Yay!
That's the character you should play in YTWE 18.
Yeah, oh my god.
Trust me, I tried to do that. I tried to do a side character for ICW with that, and I don't think it would be funny. Unless because it would just be me taking every single quote from King Ross. That would be it. So, anyways, and another question from Dr. Sam W. Pepper. Who's your least favorite wrestler and why? Well, we'll separate it into 2. All-time and then current. For me, current least favorite, Dana Brooke. Enough said.
God,
all-time...
Jekko would be very disappointed in you.
He already knows I don't like Dana Brooke. Yeah. Let's see. For all time, least favorite of all time. If there was one guy from back then that I just never really got into whenever I was younger and now today, I may have bought a Mr. America mask when I was 9, but when you're 9 you don't know very much. Hulk Hogan, mainly because his matches to me have not aged well, especially after what he did 2 years ago, and finding out what he was like backstage to the performers and to the people in the companies he was in. Yeah, fuck Hulk Hogan.
Well,
Steven?
calling everyone the... Oh, never mind.
What?
Never mind.
Steven? Steven!
Yeah?
And I'm handing the question over to you. Your least favorite all-time and least favorite current wrestler.
Least favorite currently? Really? Come on.
I know, Enzo. All time?
Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore.
Come on. You can't do the same pick for both.
Okay. Of all time?
Yeah. And why? And why?
Of all time.
It's a tough question, I know.
It's too much of a trick question here because I feel like I have to go through like a huge file of all the guys that came from like history or shit like that. I'm gonna say, damn, this is a tough question.
I know.
It is.
That's a really, really tough question right now. Of all time, it's really tough.
Well, on that note, I'm sorry, guys. I gotta cut out. So.
Oh, okay.
It's so good.
Well, that was yeah. Well, that was
good
Chris.
Chatting with you guys,
Boston
and
fan.
so.
Yep. Chris, before you go, if you want to plug your stuff, go on ahead.
Yeah, just you can find me. I'm just gonna pretty much plug my Twitter. You can, find me on Twitter at BostonFan79V1 because, I don't really pay attention to my YouTube anymore. So, yeah, BostonFan79V1 on Twitter. So,
Alrighty.
and of course on Instagram. So,
yep.
And on that note, we'll see you gents later. Have a good night. And thank you so much for having me on, Levi.
No problemo.
Oh, okay.
So
Of all time,
Steven's still trying to think.
of all time, I feel like if I say a name, I'm gonna get shit. How dare you say that name? You know what I mean? Like, I'm stumped. I'm really, really stumped right now.
Alright, I guess I'll hand it over to David.
Well, I can't really say of all time, but currently, right now, I don't know, I guess I don't really care too much for Jinder Mahal, I guess. I'll go with Jinder.
Okay, I got it. Of all time, the Great Khali.
I didn't pick him because it would have been too easy for me to pick him. That's just me. But
Punjabi Playboy.
Next question, and maybe the last one, perhaps, from Raphael Leduc. Is a heel turn for Bayley really the only way to save her character, or could they do like on NXT and have her become a way more serious character? I'll start off by saying a heel Bayley would be interesting, but personally I don't think it would work, because when you look at Bayley outside the ring, she's the furthest thing from mean. It's like, I don't know how she could indulge hatred into her character and just go full heel. I just don't think it would work. Mainly for the simple fact that when you see her and then you see her outside the ring, she's the furthest thing away from a dick. So if I were to have it my way, I would just change her character up to like how she was in NXT. You can keep the hugging thing, but when it comes to promos and matches, please, for the love of God, make her be serious like she was in NXT, please. It's like, after what they did to her at Extreme Rules, I just want to cry.
Bayley, the hungry hippo.
David, your thoughts?
That's like me trying to go heel and trying to get everybody to hate me.
Even though you have been heel and caw, I know that.
Yeah, true.
But you don't act like one, that's the thing.
No. But, Bayley being a heel, I don't know, I think that would be kind of weird. I see him more as a babyface than anything else. Unless she'll just say you're a hugging hugger and go hug yourself the whole time. That's about it.
Oh, man, that Snickers commercial still cracks me up.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and I remembered I made the edited version where it was censored to make it seem like she was saying the F word. And I remember it got taken down all because someone decided to try and start a fan war over it. Oh, I'll never forgive that person, because that video was so funny. Steven?
Repeat the question again.
From Leduc, he said, is a heel turn for Bayley the only way to save her character, or just switch her up to be more like how she was in NXT and be more serious?
No.
No on what?
No. She's just a lost cause in my eyes. The easiest person to book, and they ruined it.
Yeah,
I think she's just lost goods. I think if anything, if you really want to save anything, I'd take her to SmackDown Live. Just place her there.
Perhaps. Alright, and I guess that was it for questions that was up to date. So with that said, I think we're going to end the show on that note. We've been going nearly 2 hours. 2 hours strong. And this was a very fun show. We got to talk and express a lot of feelings about a lot of things that have been happening in wrestling for the past number of weeks. And so on and so forth. I would like to thank Chris for when he was in here. Thank you, David, and thank you, Steven, for dropping by. And time for plugs and shit. And we'll start with you, David. Plug your shit right now.
Alright, I get to plug out everything. Alright, basically, of course, the channel, Fort Mother Project, the Twitter, at DavidVera1989. Basically, same thing for everything else, so there you go, subscribe, and all that good stuff.
Steven.
Okay, well, you can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. You can check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/HeelSteven, where I do Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, NXT reviews, and pay-per-views and stuff like that. And also check out the TML podcast. It's available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and TuneIn Radio.
Awesome. And for those of you who have been watching that have not checked out anything of mine, you can subscribe to this channel by hitting the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and Smashcast at THRASHMANIAC99. Well, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining in the Skype chat. Thank you for pretty much everything. Thank you for 2,000 subscribers. Now to the long dropping of subs because no more What Culture videos, and back on a journey to now try and get to 3,000. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.